tell us like what was going through your mind in this moment.
Did you know it was coming, by the way, the Gatorade bath?
Yeah, but no, that gives me goosebumps. It's awesome, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was trying to catch my breath. I was screaming so much I thought I was gonna pass out. I think the whole day I was legit just like so exhausted. I think I played 3 innings too. I came in late, played three innings. It felt like I played 2 games. I've told people that was the best feeling of my life. Before going into that at bat, I saw Bader's cuts, and I'm like, he's gonna tie it up. Like I knew right off the bat. My goal was hit the ball in the gap or hit a home run or strike out. One of those 3 I'm gonna do. Just being aggressive for my pitch, waiting for my pitch, and I was waiting for that fastball up. I happened to get it the last pitch of the at bat because he was throwing me cutters in, and then I didn't miss it.
We're here with Paulo Costa right now, who just threw out a first pitch. Now, I'm going to say, we said this before, one of the best dressed first pitches we've ever seen.
Thank you.
But rough first pitch.
Yes, I miss it. You know, not so far, but yeah, I just miss it, guys. I have no excuse. I'm not good on that.
Hey, what's up? It's Vito Calisi, Jonathan Barron. We're here meeting at the Apple with Mark Vientos. Mark, so it's been an interesting season for you to say the least. You know, you came up for a little, you got sent down, but you came back up. What's something that you've learned just from this process and just, you know, keeping that drive?
You hear a lot of people say enjoying the process. I mean, I feel like enjoying the process is just enjoying being yourself, and you're like, we're humans. We're all humans. We all have daily lives. And I feel like we get caught up into the season and think we're just baseball players. But at the end of the day, I'm a human being. I wake up. I could go get breakfast. I could have a conversation with someone. It's just being a normal person, because it's tough sometimes, especially during the season, because you're so focused on the season.
Yeah.
And right off the bat, this goes back to the weekend against the Cardinals. I think it was April 28th. Really your first big opportunity in the Major League season. You hit a huge walk-off homer. What were the emotions like that, especially after not making the team out of camp and then coming up and getting the chance and immediately putting your stamp on the season for the team?
I've told people that was the best feeling of my life. Like it's a feeling I can't explain. It's something that I've envisioned. It's almost so surreal, because I've seen, like, I've always wanted to live moments like that since I was a little kid. Like, I've always thought about hitting walk-off home runs and coming up in situations like that and doing it at the major league level. I've never hit a walk-off home run ever.
Really? Like high school, travel ball, nothing?
Nothing,
Wow.
not even Little League. And I hit it in the major leagues, and that was sick moment.
And one of the first guys I noticed to greet you at home plate was JD Martinez. Now, you're both South Florida boys. I know that JD brings a work ethic that's pretty unmatched. What have you learned from JD in your time together as teammates?
Like you said, his work ethic is off the charts. Great dude. I've known him for a while. We both went to the same high. I went to the same high school as him.
He's an American Heritage guy?
No, he was. I went to American Heritage my senior year.
Gotcha.
And I went to Charles W. Flanagan for 3 years before that, and that's where he graduated. And I've known him since he was with the Tigers. He would come in and practice with us and teach us a couple of things, and it's kind of cool that we're teammates now. And no, like you said, he's off the charts work ethic, great guy to learn from, one of the best to ever do it. So
Tylor, our cinematographer, got an amazing shot of you right after the walk-off, and it was when you were doing your interview with Pat. And I want to show you the footage and just like tell us like what was going through your mind in this moment.
Did you know it was coming, by the way, the Gatorade bath?
Yeah, but no, that gives me goosebumps. It's awesome, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was trying to catch my breath. I was screaming so much I thought I was gonna pass out. I was trying to catch my breath that whole interview, and then the Gatorade bath was sick. I think the whole day I was legit just like so exhausted. I think I played 3 innings too. I came in late, played three innings. It felt like I played 2 games.
Yeah, when Tylor showed us this footage, he came upstairs. We played it on this podcast, just being like, this was an amazing moment. And like, we never play footage on the show, but you could just see like your eyes, like that moment, like the way you were screaming. So like hearing your perspective is just like, you know, it's fun to be in that moment with somebody.
I mean, we were psyched. That was a fun episode for us.
Well, we were playing your interview the next day.
Like I said, that was the best moment. I think before going into that at bat, I saw Bader's cuts, and I'm like, he's going to tie it up. Like, I knew right off the bat. And I'm going to hit the ball in the gap. My goal was hit the ball in the gap or hit a home run or strike out. One of those three I'm going to do, because that was just like my mindset going into there. Just being aggressive for my pitch, waiting for my pitch, and I was waiting for that fastball up. I happened to get it the last pitch of the at-bat because he was throwing me cutters in, and then I didn't miss it. So
it was the start of something big for you, Mark. I don't know if you know this, but no one in the bigs has a higher slugging percentage than you. I mean, what has helped you be so successful this year?
Just like I said, betting on myself. I think we come up to the big leagues. Like, I guess young players come up to the big leagues, and like some have success and some don't. And I feel like the ones that don't are really like second guessing themselves in a way. And I feel like no matter what no matter if I'm 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts and then my fourth at bat, I'm going to still be betting on myself. I'm going to still have that confidence. No matter if I make a couple errors on the field, I'm going to have that confidence in the 10th inning to make that game-winning out. So it's just like betting on yourself no matter what, having that confidence and knowing you're the best out there no matter who's playing.
So one thing we talked to you about at spring training was you're a big Drake fan, right?
100%.
About a month ago, just biggest feud we've seen in hip-hop in quite a minute came through. Were you staying true to Drake the whole time, or did you lean over to Kendrick at all?
I'm staying true to Drake. Drizzy's my guy. I did you heard Family Matters, right?
Yeah, but Family Matters then got like washed by the next one. What was it? Was Meet the Grams the next one?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm staying true to Drizzy. I'm gonna be honest.
You have
So
to.
Tylor and I have talked about this, where it's an interesting thing where like I feel like Drake gets beat lyrically by everybody in these feuds, but Drake makes a banger out of a diss track. So like Family Matters is a better song than anything Kendrick put out.
100%.
But Kendrick stuff was insane. Like just like I don't like the letter to Drake's son about like, I'm sorry your dad was ever born, and I wish you could have had a better role model.
No, honestly, you're 100% correct. I feel like Drake is more like you're gonna be like, okay, you'll hear this in the club, but like it's not like hard lyrics against. So Drake is kind of like, my theory is he wants to make it a banger for people to enjoy.
Yeah.
He's not really like going after, because at the end of the day, it's like, how much money am I gonna make off this? Like, he wants to make money off of it, and the publicity over the beef and all that, he loves that.
But back to baseball, you know, this is a big weekend coming up, Darryl Strawberry weekend. Do you look forward to getting to witness these retirement ceremonies and getting a chance to maybe even talk to some of the guys that used to play?
100%. It's an honor to just be on the field with Darryl Strawberry, a guy that's been one of the best in the game, and honestly a great baseball mind. I had the opportunity in spring training to talk to him a little bit, and his advice on simplifying the game, and it makes me understand more why he was so good.
Now, the 80s was a special time for many reasons, especially mustaches. And right now, you're rocking one.
Of course.
So where'd you get the idea to grow the caterpillar stash? By the way, Tommy told me to call it a caterpillar stash.
I love it because I love people that are noticing the mustache, because I feel like I woke up one day. It was just like I woke up one day and I'm like, you know what? I always have this clean look. I want like more of a gritty, like dirty look, like, and I like the stash. The stash makes me feel like more, excuse me, badass. Like, it's just like,
you can say that here. Yeah,
just
no problem.
Just a little bit of a tougher look.
So you're keeping it.
I'm 100%.
I mean, you got to keep it right now. The way you're at the plate. I mean,
The guys want me to shave the chin hair.
that was my next
it's not
question.
Here's the thing. I know that you guys like saying mustache, but it's technically not a mustache if you still have the goatee. That's a whole thing. A mustache is when you just have a mustache.
Yeah, no.
You got to go all in, Mark.
And the soul patch too. Get rid of everything except right here.
No, I think it's coming soon. I'm not gonna say when is it coming, but I think it's coming soon. That I'm just gonna have the stash.
I think this weekend, 80s. You know, we're going to be honoring the 80s. I think that's the time to do it.
Okay.
You don't have to take our advice.
I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, throwing it out there.
Is your dad pumped for this weekend? Being a lifelong Mets fan.
100%. My dad. Every time I call him, he's so excited over the phone. Just like, especially how I'm playing right now. But like, it does suck the way our team is playing right now. Like, we're not having the luck on our side. So, I mean, I feel like we're gonna come around soon. We're all working hard and we're all keeping that positive attitude because it's a long season. It's not. It's May right now. We got a long time to continue to get better and win some games. So I'm excited for that for sure.
What do you do in the clubhouse to kind of like help that morale in times like this?
Just keep the same energy. Keep the energy up, positive, because I feel like in times like this, we kind of take it as like, oh man, like going to the field. Because like I said, going back to what I said, we're humans. Like it's natural. Like that's what happens. We like negative thoughts come into our head and we got to push them out. So we got to, no matter how it's going right now, we got to go into the clubhouse saying, I'm excited to go to the field. I'm excited. I'm playing baseball. I'm playing Major League Baseball. This is fun. Like if we keep that attitude, with the talent we got, I think we're going to be good.
I've seen Sean Mania do the rally cap. I think maybe a team of rally stashes could be something that the boys rally around.
I was telling him, I was like, hey, like let's grow out the stash. So let's see.
Any buyers or
Pete
had one last year.
Pete was like, when I first got into Philly, he was like, I love the stash. He's like, I'm gonna do it with you. I'm like, let's do it.
Well, dude, Mark, thanks so much for sitting down, taking the time with us. You can listen to Subscribe, Meet at the Apple on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. We're available on the Mets YouTube page. Leave some comments. Are you subscribed yet?
Yeah, I am.
For that, we should do stashes now.
Yeah, I mean, I'll do it. We'll do it. If you do it, if you get everybody to do it this weekend, I'll do it.
Yeah, we'll do it.
But you have to
I'm gonna hold you guys on that.
And I don't like having a
retweet it.
I don't like not having hair here. So like,
You
for
hear
me,
that?
this is
Hey,
big.
they're gonna have stashes too, so we gotta hold them to
As
that.
long as you do. If
I'm
I see you got the
100%
chin strap, I'm gonna do
If
it.
you guys do it, I'm gonna do it.
We'll do it. I got the razor. We got a
Deal.
Yeah,
Deal.
Perfect.
We'll
Deal.
shave on the podcast later
sir.
today after a big Mets win.
I love that.
Well, that was our Mark Vientos interview. So, John, is that why you have a mustache?
Where's your mustache, Vito?
We clearly said we were waiting for the weekend.
No, that is not why I have one. When I got done with the art on my face, I looked up and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that we had talked about this with Mark, and he said, if you guys, I'm gonna hold you guys to that. So it's not why though.
Can you look right into the camera and do me a favor? I just want people's opinion. Do you think the creeper mustache is a problem? The creeper being the very pencil thin, the John Waters-esque mustache that John has rocked.
Here's the thing. So yesterday, I cleaned up a beard. I had a really like totally unkempt, disheveled beard a few days ago. And I cleaned it up yesterday because it was getting itchy and just like crazy on my neck and whatever. So I cleaned it up. And over here, it gets really bushy. So I made it thinner there also. And it like connected nice and well. And then the Rangers lost on Tuesday night. So I woke up on Wednesday and I was like, it's going. We're done. I have full right to shave it. So I did it. And then I don't know what got into me. I was just like, you know what? I'm just doing the mustache.
I'm not against the mustache. I'm against your.
Well,
I'm against
but the hair was gone, so it had to be that. My wife hasn't seen this yet.
I can't wait. Can you? And we don't have to put it on the podcast, but just for me,
Yeah.
Can you film her reaction?
I can try to, dude. One time we had a date party back in college, and I was like, I'm wearing a stash. It did not go well. We almost didn't make it to the date party. Like we really almost didn't go to the date party. So anyway, that's the essence of the stash. Dude, Okiko saw me today. Shout out Okiko. She walks by me, and without breaking stride, she just goes, and I was like, what's that supposed to mean?
Oh, we didn't keep the tallies.
It was under.
It was under.
I would say 75% of the people I encountered today looked at me and was like, "What's that on your lip?" But it's pretty subtle because it's not like a thick guy. I feel like if it was all the way up to here, it would be absurd.
No, it would look better. It'd be a dad stash. But we've avoided talking about the last 2 days enough.
2.5 minutes of facial hair. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of what we just all witnessed.
Hey, it happens.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Dodgers are good. You know, they came in here on a 5-game losing streak, and that probably, wasn't going to last too much longer. Again, the Mets had a chance to win game 1 of Tuesday's doubleheader. They don't.
Had a chance to win game 3.
Had a chance to win game 3, you're right. I mean, they had guys on in the 7th inning, I think it was, 6th, 7th inning, had a chance to go ahead. Didn't. Even game 2, you only allow 3 runs. How many times have we seen the Mets score like 6 runs and allow 7? So
it's a really tough stretch right now. I mean, the guys in the clubhouse are feeling it just as much as you are. It's tough. It's a really tough time right now here at Flushing. All they want to do is win. All we want to see is them win, and just something's not clicking right now.
Yeah, David Peterson pitched well today.
He did,
so that was great to see. I mean, him and Tylor shoved game 1 on Tuesday. 9 strikeouts after a really strong return in Cleveland last week.
And I know we come out here and we say here are the positives of the last 2 days, but look, you need to stay a little grounded, and you need to look at there is still stuff good that is happening. It's not 100% bad right now. Like John said, Tylor Megill looked great.
He looked awesome against a really good Dodger lineup. So
David Peterson looked great.
David Peterson looked really good.
They hit Tyler Glasnow early.
They did. I mean, they made him work.
Yeah.
Lindor got him for the 2-run shot, and Glasnow didn't go that deep in the game, so that was impressive. But yeah, I mean, look, it obviously all kind of fell apart there on Wednesday in the later innings of the game. And I think things sort of just snowballed, Pete Alonso left the game in the first inning. That sucks. Your number 2 hitter. It's just...
The only time Pete gets injured is when he gets hit.
That's pretty much it. Yeah. And haven't heard any updates yet. We're obviously recording after the game, so nothing quite yet. But look, it's on to Arizona, and then the Mets go to DC, and they go to London, and they come back for the Marlins and the Padres, and you just got to kind of string wins together. That's all you can do, is take it a day at a time. We're going to talk about a lot of prospects right now who are turning up down in the minors, and I mean, look, what else is there to say? Like I said on the last episode, we're not going to sit here and tell fans that it's raining when we're peeing on them. So I don't really know what else to say. Neither do you. It sucks. We feel everyone's frustration and whatever other words you would use to describe it.
Yeah, I mean, there's frustration is the right word. You fall in love with a team, you like watching a team, and you want to see that team win. And sometimes it doesn't happen. Sometimes it doesn't happen a few days in a row. But there's more games coming up. There's more games in this homestand. There's a lot coming up this weekend. There's stuff to look forward to.
And a big weekend here at Citi Field.
It's a really big weekend.
Yeah.
We'll get into that when we do the 5s a little later. Well, you know what? I think it's a good time. Why don't we jump into the first of the 5s, which is going to be the 5 levels of Mets player development.
Yeah, like I just said, we have a lot of guys right now who are, getting some attention or should be getting attention down in the minor league system. So we'll go level by level. DSL hasn't started yet, so we got the FCL Mets, St. Lucie Mets, Brooklyn Cyclones, Binghamton Rumble Ponies, and Syracuse Mets. They are the 5 affiliates all in action. So let's start from the bottom up.
And we are planning to record a Future of Flushing tomorrow where we'll go a little deeper.
You tell me, never promise a guest.
Promise a guest. Are you the guest?
No, I'm just saying it hasn't been recorded yet.
But we're both here.
We're both here.
We're both here.
I'll be here at 11:30 a.m. Got some stuff to do.
It doesn't require anybody else because we don't do video.
No, we could.
We'll just bring Ty down here and have him sit at the roadcaster.
Sure.
But this is just we want to start talking about prospects again. We want to start talking, just reminding you guys that there's stuff going on at all levels of the Mets. But yeah, why don't we start with the FCL? I think if you don't know what the FCL is, for fans who have not listened to Future of Flushing, that's the Florida Complex League. That is at the moment the lowest level of the minor leagues because, as John said, the DSL hasn't started up yet. But that's guys who are basically playing in the backfields at PSL. It's a pretty interesting situation because it's just. There's no ticketed fans. It's just free admission, and
it's very grassroots.
It's kind of like I feel like it's a lot. We haven't been there for it, but I feel like it's a lot like spring training when you're watching workouts and you're watching exhibition games and stuff on the backfields. It's fun. It's baseball at its purest form.
Yeah.
But let's talk about a guy playing for the FCL Mets. That is Daviel Hurtado, who was signed in the 2023 international free agency class from Cuba.
That's correct. Missed all of 2023 with injury, so that was a shame. Came over stateside. Mets believed in him. Has started his season. Pitched on Tuesday. Pitched really well. Clean inning. A lot of excitement surrounding his name. Guy that sits 91, 93, can get up to 95 from the left side. Another one of the lefty prospects the Mets have, Felipe De La Cruz, is one of those guys who's really been great for Brooklyn this year. Had a 13 strikeout game not too long ago. Franklin Gomez, who was one of the best pitchers in the DSL last year, came over mid-year and pitched for St. Lucie in the playoffs, which FCL Mets. He's with St. Lucie right now. So the trio of young lefties right there to talk about. But Hurtado, a lot of excitement from Cuba, like I mentioned. And for him to finally get off the ground and start his pro career, that was big, and he pitched well. So he was one of the bigger pitchers in that international free agency class. He got one of the bigger pitcher bonuses the Mets have ever given out. So it was a big day for him to finally get his career going, and he pitched really well. So that was awesome to see.
Yeah, the Mets have had a really good last few years of the IFA. And, that's coming up towards the end of this season, so that's something we'll talk about later on this year.
Yep.
But coming up later this season, as if that's not how a calendar year works. That was stupid.
Feels like yesterday we talked to Steve Barningham.
Dude, honestly, I was
and Drew.
I was in my head just now trying to figure out when it even was, because it feels like it was recent.
No, I mean, what's crazy is that the draft is going to be here before we know it.
Yeah, because the draft is in what? No,
it's in July.
It's in July.
It's in July.
No, not
All-star.
the MLB draft. I meant the IFA.
IFA signing is
November?
January is when the official date is.
See?
Yeah. So that's a little ways away, but scouting for the amateur draft, this is the nitty gritty. This is the last couple months. And we talked to Drew about the whole cycle, when you guys start, the area scouts, the cross-checking, all of it. It's such a crazy process. And that's all going on right now as all 30 organizations gear up for another round of, 20 rounds these days? 20 rounds these days of picking. In last year's draft class, a guy like Jack Wenninger with St. Lucie and so many other guys, Cade Morris and Brandon Sprode, who we'll mention in a little bit. Colin Houck. There are so many guys who have been tearing it up in the minors for the Mets so far. So it's important, guys. I mean, we just watched the Dodgers. Taylor, you asked me, where'd they get Will Smith from? They drafted him. They drafted and developed. That's how they've gotten a lot of these guys. So
I mean, we've said this. This is something we said in Future of Flushing all the time, but you've heard East Coast Dodgers is something that has been brought up about what the Steve Cohen's vision for the Mets is. That's something we've heard since day one.
But it's a long process.
It is.
It's a long process.
It's not something that happens overnight. And it's exactly what John was saying. You're trying to build that player development system all the way from the ground up, all the way from the complex league, from the Dominican League to, let's move on to the low A St. Lucie Mets, who play in where you see the Mets play at spring training over at Clover Park. Clover Park?
Clover Park.
Because I did this with Brandon Sprode.
We debated what a park and what a field was.
Yeah, but Joel Diaz, somebody who missed all of 2023 due to injury, but who's really looking good this year so far.
Yeah, he had 6 2/3 scoreless innings in the FCL as he resumed his career. Was bumped up on Wednesday, 6 strikeouts and 3 1/3 innings of work. Guy that throws really hard, nasty changeup. I hate to use this name. I feel like when we make player comparisons, it's a little ridiculous, and that's kind of what it.
Yeah, but I think player comps are important because they're not meant to be accurate.
That this guy is going to be that guy.
Not that.
No, I know.
It's meant just to be
stylistic,
sure. And it's something just to compare to. It's just something to go for you who is looking at numbers on a box. This is how you can maybe envision that person.
He's got a lot of power for a guy that's not so big in stature. So I'm going to say Pedro.
Hey,
I'm going to say Pedro. I'm not saying he's going to be Pedro.
And now I'm excited because now I think Pedro Martinez is coming back to the Mets.
Yeah, but hey, I mean, look.
I saw a guy in a Pedro jersey today.
Did you?
Dude, I saw some good jerseys today for a thing that I did with social media that I don't want to spoil it. So I guess I'll tell you.
What was the best one you saw?
I saw a guy you love.
Who?
I saw a catcher that you love.
Patrick Mazeika?
Oh, wait, that's crazy because I did see a Patrick Mazeika.
I know the guy that has the Mazeika jersey.
What do you mean?
There's one dude who always wears a Mazeika around here.
Is he young?
Yeah. I see him. I've taken a picture of his back many times. I saw one a couple days ago. I forgot. Anyway.
Wait, you know what I'm wearing? You know what I wore just for fun?
What, the Go Big Pelf?
Yeah.
Well, you're the Gesellman also.
I do have the Gesellman also, but I wore my big Pelf.
You know what I got to wear?
What?
The one that I got from the same heist that you got the Gesellman from. The Mrs. Met.
The Mrs. Met is money.
The Mrs. Met is fire. Can I wear it, though? Is it weird if I'm walking around rocking Mrs. Met?
No, I think it's cool.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's from, that's legit. So is yours.
Mine is too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the one I have, not to say mine's better than yours.
It
I'm not,
feels like it's what you're saying.
the one that I have is from the 20th anniversary 9/11 game.
That's a big one.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably
even know
shouldn't
how
be
to
admitting
respond
this.
to that.
Someone's going to track me down and say, give it back. I don't know where it is anymore. Anyway, with Diaz, a youngster from the DR, anyone who grew up in the DR in the last like 20, 30 years, like you grew up idolizing Pedro.
Yeah.
Luis Severino is one of those guys.
Yeah.
Sixto Sanchez is one of those guys.
told us Pedro's a mentor to him.
Yeah, he and
speaks to
Pedro
him.
have worked. He credits Pedro with a lot of the success. Pedro was helping Sevy when Sevy was a youngster, a minor leaguer in the Yankee system. That's how good of a guy Pedro is. And you know Pedro's relationship with the Yankees.
Yeah. He beats up old men.
That was a one-time thing. But yeah, so look, again, with the comp, like I'm not trying to say that Joel is Pedro, but that's the kind of guy who I think he probably strives to be, which is kind of a common thing, I think. And for good reason.
Yeah, man. Comps are cool. Comps.
I hate, though, when you're watching, whether, I don't care what sport it is, you're watching a desk show and they're doing the draft, and like a lot of these pundits on the desk show, they're not watching, they're not scouting, they don't know about the high school kid from like Topeka, Kansas.
One, you know that somebody's in their ear telling them what to say.
I know that.
Yeah.
And then you got someone like double tapping the desk and like flipping it and saying, man, I think this guy reminds me of Todd Helton. And it's like, you have no idea. You can't tell me a thing about this kid. So,
But you need it because a lot of the fans watching that draft, like, that's how you get people invested.
I know.
Let's talk about Brooklyn, a place that we got to go soon, because this is a guy I want to talk to for a third time. That's Nick Morabito. This is a Nick Morabito podcast. We've been on the Nick Morabito train for a long time. Nick Morabito, really good hitter. 4 hits on Tuesday, homered on Wednesday. Got a 423 OBP since his promotion to Brooklyn. And just got a lot of natural talent, natural ability.
he has been awesome. I would go as far to say that he has probably been, I don't know if the biggest breakout is the right term, because he was a second round pick. So there was a lot of hype surrounding his name.
But he was young and he had a tough start to the year last year.
He did. And after Jet Williams got promoted up from St. Lucie to Brooklyn, Nick followed in his footsteps. And the first pitch he saw in the Florida State League, he homered on. And he's been so good. And Brooklyn's a tough place to hit home runs in. We know that. He's shown power. He's shown speed. He's shown great defense, center fielder.
You sounded like the Miss Congeniality intro. She's got beauty.
I don't get
she's
that.
got grace.
But
She's Miss United States.
I've never seen that movie. Added to the list.
Shocker.
We should have a running list of movies I haven't seen that I need to see.
That would be fun. And we could make a playlist.
Back to the Future is one of them that I'm continuously told it's too late. Or enough is enough.
Dude, we literally inspired scoreboard animations based on Back to the Future, and like it's crazy. You haven't watched it yet.
No, I haven't. No.
Back to Nick Morabito.
Back to Nick Morabito. I mean, yeah, he's been awesome. So, him, Jet, Luis Angel Acuna, who we'll talk
Should
about.
I say the thing that I haven't said on this podcast yet about Nick Morabito?
What, about his uncle building the batting cage?
His uncle built a batting cage in his basement. Nick Morabito used to hit on it all the time.
All the OG Future of Flushing listeners know exactly what Vito is talking about with that one. Yeah. No, he's been great. He's been hitting atop the Brooklyn lineup, hitting leadoff for them.
Yeah.
Super exciting prospect. Like you said, homered again today after he had 4 hits on Tuesday. Just an on-base machine.
Also, Cyclones are home next week when the Mets are away. So
Are they doing any of those great deals? The all-you-can-drink?
The all you can drink is on the weekend.
They have other good deals for families.
I do want to hit the rooftop special really badly.
What's that?
So they have like that little rooftop area, like at the, like, it's like on a porch in, I think, on the third baseline, and like you could just go up there and there's like bottomless drinks.
Oh.
Yo, John got fired up for bottomless drinks. Give me a baiter.
A great deal to John is just cheap alcohol.
No.
Well, this is the same guy who said when he asked a waiter, Janie, I don't know if you listened to the episode where
Hi,
John
Janie.
said this. Janie from social media is here today. We invite live audiences now into the podcast. John said when he goes to a restaurant, he doesn't say, what do you recommend like on taste? He says, what's the most amount of food?
That's not true. You're misrepresenting what I said.
You said, what's the most bang for my buck?
I want the middle part. I want something that is good, but also that is going to be plentiful. I don't want only a big portion that sucks.
Dude, I was at a wedding and I was sitting next to somebody who, when the waiter was coming over and taking people's orders, he said, hey, could you make sure you give me a lot of food on this one? And I literally turned to my wife and I said, who the is this guy?
What's wrong with that? If my man's
That's crazy, dude.
my man's was hungry.
Also, somebody commented on the YouTube a few weeks ago when I said I did a thank you speech, and they were like, a normal person does a 30 to 60 second thank you at a wedding.
So I'll be honest, and I didn't want to give you the glorification of this. My cousin Jamie, he did the same thing.
Oh,
He took the mic.
a thank you, yeah.
Yeah.
You should.
I had never seen it before, but
Not even at your own wedding.
I was in no shape to be speaking at that on a microphone.
All right, let's move on to number.
I don't know if I am right now either.
Let's move on to number 4. This is the Binghamton Rumble Ponies. Brandon Sproat, 7 innings of 1-run ball on Monday. Brandon Sproat, a guy that if you want to learn more about him, we did an interview with him at spring training that is available on the Future of Flushing page. But just really exciting draft pick from last year. Who, if you know the backstory in him, was drafted by the Mets a year prior, didn't come to terms on a deal, went back to college, but still accepted still accepted getting drafted by the Mets. And because you have to, when you turn down for the fans who don't know, when you don't end up coming to terms with a team that drafts you, that team is not allowed to draft you again unless you agree to it.
Yeah. And I mean, that shows how highly the Mets thought of Brandon Sproat, obviously. And he was by far the biggest star of the spring breakout game, I think.
Oh, by far.
He really caught attention, and he's that dude. For me, the biggest thing, his ERA in Brooklyn was 1.09, I think.
Which is crazy.
Which is crazy. And his ERA in Binghamton is still under 2. I think it's like 1.8 something. He has cut his walk rate in half. Actually, a little bit more than half. It was like 15 with Brooklyn. It's around 7 now with Binghamton. He was walking a lot of dudes with Brooklyn, and obviously this was like April, right off the ocean, so it was cold and I'm sure hard to grip the ball. And he's from Florida, so it was conditions he's probably never pitched in his life.
Not like beachside Florida.
No, I mean northern Florida, so maybe it was a little bit cold sometimes, but still, this is probably different than anything he'd ever dealt with before.
I'm agreeing with you, yeah.
Yeah, so now that the weather's warming up and we're seeing this with some other guys in the organization, his control is pinpoint, and he's dominating dudes. And he's a guy that went to college, and he's a guy that pitched all 4 years in college.
He loved college. He told us about how important college is to him.
College is sick.
He's a guy that, like, obviously you're excited to see everybody get to the major league level, but, like, he's a guy I'm really excited to see when they get to that AAA level and see what they're able to do there, because, like, it really has become, like, for pitchers especially, AAA is the biggest proving ground of, like, what you can be.
Yeah, I was talking to a vet tech who I met recently. I had to take Cooper back to the vet, which has become like once a month now.
Sorry, Coops.
This guy, and my guy Matthew, who was over at VEG and I forget Carl's Place, Long Island, and huge Mets fan.
Nice.
And I realized he was a huge Mets fan when he mentioned the name Blade Tidwell to me. Like, we were talking, and he goes, "Yeah, but they got Tidwell and Sproat." I was like, "Okay, this guy, he knows."
I love when fans know that there's arms. Like,
yeah,
it gets me hype.
But we were talking, and like, Sproat's a dude who I don't want to put a timeline on anything, and we hope to have a conversation with a man in the know pretty soon here on Meet at the Apple, and it's a question we're going to ask him. But Brandon Sproat, if he's already in AA before the end of May in 2024, if he continues his upward ascension, it's fair to think that as long as things progress well, he will hopefully get a taste of AAA ball, and then you never know what 2025 has in store. But what Matthew said to me, and it was a very poignant remark, was the jump between AA and AAA is probably the hardest of any of the jumps throughout the minors. We've talked to guys that have said that, especially because, number one, you have the automatic ball strike zone, which we talk about all the time. Such a challenge, got to be so perfect. There's no more shadow zone calls. And number two, there's guys that played in the majors in AAA.
Yeah.
Like the Luke Voits of the world, the G-Man Choi's of the world.
Well, also because we've talked about this too, like AAA has also, it's not even become totally player development. It's become a place to
stash guys.
It's become a place to stash guys who are Major League Baseball
who
players.
have options. Like Mark Vientos was in AAA. The dude's a beast. You see what he's doing at the Major League level, but he's been at AAA for a lot of the year this year. So it is a big challenge for anyone, especially a guy that's coming up, especially a guy as young as Brandon is, to go to AAA. But like, I'm excited to see it. And another good solid month or two, and who knows, the Mets might say it's time. My point is that with Brandon Sproat, who has kind of taken the minor leagues by storm and will probably be a top 100 prospect when all of the publications reforecast or whatever you want to call it midseason, which they do. This is a guy that could be making an impact in Queens sooner than later. We have said that about guys, and it's come true. Christian Scott last year, talking about him nonstop. And look where he is now. He's starting this weekend in Queens.
I think Christian Scott was probably the most we had brought up as a guy who was like, you could see coming up the following year.
Yeah. And it wasn't sequential. You know, like Mike Vassell reached Syracuse before Christian Scott did. Christian Scott pitched he actually didn't pitch AAA at all last year.
Player development's not linear.
Yeah. And he made a few starts AAA, and the Mets had seen enough. They were like, let's get him up. Yeah. So that's, and the organization is acting like that, and it's great to see. There's no like, check this box, check that box, check this box.
I think baseball's changing league-wide and the culture-wide.
Some organizations, yes.
Yeah, but like I think that like I think organizations are also starting to respect college ball as more a part of the player development system. So you're seeing guys promoted earlier than we've seen in years past, which I think is an effect of that. I feel like you disagree with that.
Well, I mean, like the Tigers took Max Clark over Wyatt Langford in last year's draft, and that was a really, really heavily debated moment where Max Clark was a high schooler from Indiana, and like he looks like a stud, but Wyatt Langford went pretty much straight to the major leagues. So I think a lot of it comes down to your philosophy on like how well can we project a guy that might be 5 years away, 6 years away, who like still has his baby fat and hasn't grown into his adult body yet, versus a guy who, as Brandon and us talked about, has been through the rigors of college and like figuring out how to be an adult and all these other things that when you're 17, 18, well, not 17, 18 years old, like you haven't even begun to think about those things in your life. So it's a give and a take, and organizations have to kind of roll the dice on it.
You know why I think college is important for athletes too? Because you have more notoriety as a college athlete than you do as like somebody on a AA team somewhere, correct?
What do you mean? Like you're? Oh yeah, like Paul Gervais was incredibly well known in Baton Rouge because he played for the very famous LSU. I mean, yeah, some of these facilities, you know, in the SEC are better than like, you know, some AA and single A facilities in minor league baseball. And
you start doing press and you start doing stuff and you start dealing with the rigors of being like a known person, and like college is like a really good prep for like, hey, when you start growing and moving, like you do this. Like you see a lot of the guys who go straight from high school to, like we know this from doing interviews. You see a lot of the guys who go straight from high school to minor league ball. They've never done a podcast. They've never done any interview before.
Sure.
Most of the college guys you talk to, we have like stuff to look at. We have stuff to base their interviews on because they've been doing press. So I think there's like a lot of aspects, and I'm not saying that you should always do one way or the other. It's just, I think there's like an interesting aspect to college ball. But let's move.
By the way, the super regionals, regional super regionals coming up right now, College World Series time, incredible, right, Janie? College baseball is really fun.
We should go to a game.
Where are we going? All these regionals are Indiana's in the regional.
I know you would love to go to Indiana.
Janie, I scouted Kyle Schwarber before the Cubs drafted him.
We can go to Pennsylvania, can't we?
I scouted Schwarber, Janie, sorry.
We can go to Pennsylvania.
When are we going to Pennsylvania? You want to go to Brooklyn? I have a baby at home.
I know.
I got to get home. We got to hurry up.
Right,
I have to get yelled
Let's move on to Blade Tidwell. That's going to be our 5th of the 5 levels of player development. Blade Tidwell, you've heard about Blade Tidwell. Made his second start for Syracuse on Wednesday. Off to a really great start in AAA. He had a 2.41 ERA over at Binghamton for the first part of the year. But Blade Tidwell is a name that you've heard before. You're going to hear again on this podcast.
He was pitching as I was putting the notes together, so I am currently on my phone checking to see. Okay, this was his line today. 6 innings, 4 hits, no runs allowed. ERA down to 1.54.
That's the Blade Tidwell we saw all year last year. And Blade Tidwell's a guy who he actually told us he almost likes to put himself in a jam because it gets him fired up and he likes to work his way out of it. Like the amount of games we watched last year where he'd get into a situation, put two runners on base, maybe even load the bases, and then like you would just see him like all of a sudden something would switch. He'd lock in and he would just challenge every single batter after that. Like it's just Blade Tidwell's a guy to watch. You've heard his name for a reason.
Yeah, he also never struggled really with Brooklyn at all last year.
No.
Got the bump up to AA. I think he made his last 8 or 9 starts of the season with Binghamton, and that's a challenge still. I know we said AA to AAA is probably the largest of the challenges, but any advance is a challenge. You know, the hitters are better, they have better eyes, they don't chase as much, so on and so forth. Every time he had a rough start, he always bounced back with a great start. It's like he took it super personally and took learning lessons from whatever went wrong from the previous start and brought it into the next start. I remember there was one example of that where he faced the Yankee AA affiliate Somerset, in Double-A, and he threw like 7 2/3 innings, scoreless ball, maybe 1-run ball, but it was his longest pro start after he really had a tough time in the previous outing. And we talked to him about it.
We did.
Because then we went to Somerset the next day, actually.
Yeah.
And he told us just that.
That was the conversation we had about like he loaded the bases, but he like literally was like, he said in that interview, like, I like when the pressure's on. Yeah.
Yeah. So for him to be doing this in AAA, and we just got finished talking about how tough it is with the ABS and good hitters and all that. Really impressive, really impressive. And, this is a dude who we also talked with when he got drafted. After he got drafted, 29 other teams made a big mistake by not taking Blade Tidwell. Now he's one step away from the majors. So you never know.
You know what I want to say?
Tell us.
A lot of people comment, say you guys don't talk about baseball.
This has been
We've been talking a lot
baseball
about baseball.
overload.
This has been a lot of baseball. And you know what?
Let's talk about some food.
Let's talk about what's going on at Citi Field this weekend. The 5 things you got to do at the ballpark this weekend. The 5 reasons to come out to Citi Field. Number 1, by far the most obvious, it's the Darryl Strawberry ceremony.
There's going to be a lot of great former
And
Mets.
that is Saturday.
That is Saturday, 4 p.m. The ceremony is going to start. Yes, it is.
That is Saturday.
Be here early. Get here. Ceremony is going to start around 3:30, I think. Get here early. Get in your seats. Show Darryl Strawberry the love he deserves. If you haven't checked out the interview we did with Darryl, definitely
cool.
do that. Drinking strawberry milkshakes, just chilling.
Don't say it yet. That's one of the 5.
That's one of the 5.
All right, let's say it now. Number 2.
Number 2.
Number 2 on the 5s all weekend from Thursday to Sunday. You can get a free strawberry shake at Shake Shack using the app or going to the kiosk. And that's with any purchase, I believe.
It is.
Terms do apply.
Terms apply.
Terms apply as
Not
always.
just Citi Field, though.
No, Long Island.
I have a bone to pick with you.
Yeah.
You said in Long Island on the interview.
I did.
Right out of the jump, you said, if you're in Long Island or in the city.
Well, you know what I think?
And my ear started to bleed.
It's hard when you're saying like in Queens, in New York City, and then I'm not going to switch to on Long Island.
You got to, because that's the only
I know
right
it's
way
the
of
right
doing
way to
it.
say it.
Only way to say it.
I know it's the right way to say it, but
Only way to say it.
strawberry shake with any purchase. Terms apply. Shake Shack. Get that code strawberry. Remember that code strawberry.
Guys, even if you're lactose intolerant, doesn't matter. Just deal with it. It's that
really
good. It's that good.
I finished it.
Suck it up.
I finished it before the interview ended.
It was.
I actually had to pace myself. I was ready to finish that thing halfway
There
through
was
the
another
interview.
one.
Yeah, but I wasn't going to drink 2 milkshakes in the morning. That was the first thing I ate that day.
Was it?
Yeah, that was how I broke my fast.
Yeah. No, they're great. That was cool. That was awesome of Shake Shack to send those. And Darryl got one also.
Daryl did.
He had 3.
Daryl had 3.
Yeah.
Number three on the things to do at Citi Field this weekend. Could you pass me that bad boy? This is Sunday's giveaway. This is the Darryl Strawberry bobblehead. And the cool thing about this is it's based on his rookie card. So it has that nice little backdrop. Darryl said he liked it a lot because he said it was the most a bobblehead had looked like him, that's compliment from the man himself.
The backdrop is really cool.
The backdrop is sick. I mean, the bobbleheads this year have been killing it. Shout out to Chloe, Gabby Jasper, Laura South. We already gave Chloe the Employee of the Week in the past, so I'm not going to give it to her again just yet. And we still have till Sunday till we choose our Employee of the Week. So
we do.
There's still time out there, Mets employees. You hear that, Janie?
Could be you.
You hear that, Janie? You better
Could be
do something.
Janie.
You better do something in the
Could
next
be
few
you,
days if you want to win.
Janie. Amanda's creeping up.
Yeah.
Janie, are you going to jinx the Rangers again like you did last time?
Oh yeah, Janie is the Ranger.
Because then you won't be Employee of the Week if you do.
All right, number 4 on things to do at Citi Field this weekend. It's the first of the year. It's John's baby. No, I'm not talking about the Queen's crew. That's his other baby. No, I'm talking about Sophia. That's his other baby. What I'm
That's
talking
the first
about,
baby.
what I'm talking about is Fireworks Friday. I think I'm inviting a ton of friends out for Fireworks Friday.
Pressure.
I think I might invite a ton of friends out and go to the cake corner for $3 beers before the game.
It's going to be a fun time. You guys all got to be here. We're going to have a big crowd. I know it. It's going to be a fun time at the ballpark. It's going to be a great game. DJ night also that same night. So we got the DJ night.
Hey, wait, that's number 5, dude.
I jumped the gun, but it's all happening at the same time.
That's number 5.
That's why it's so much fun.
Number 5 is DJ night.
Who's playing this weekend?
I'm not sure, but
We should have checked.
we should have checked. But DJ Sage killed it last week.
Always does.
It really is a party out there. Like
I know.
I forget.
I know. And the Queen's crew goes out there
And
and
they
they
throw
mix it up.
shirts out?
They throw shirts.
Special shirts.
The New Balance Artist Series shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely go check out the area out there. I know it's crazy, but it's a good time.
It's
If-
sick.
If you want to party this weekend, like don't wait on the line at the club for 2 hours and get held up by the bouncer, slipping him a hundo to get in and be shoulder to shoulder, packed in like a sardine. No, be here.
Hey, millennials, this is for you.
I'm listening.
Are you sick of getting home at like 3 a.m., 2 a.m. when you just want to go out and hear
we can't bounce back like that.
Music? What if I told you you could get all the energy of a club and it's from 7 to 10? Hey, Steve, are you excited for DJ night?
So excited.
Steve, the last time this happened, I asked you how you were feeling about the boys in blue. Yeah. You said heart attack, and it wound up working out.
So let's go with it again.
I heard they were talking about the Rangers in like the 8th inning tonight, and you popped on and said, "Please stop." Can you confirm that?
Yeah, I can confirm. I think
It was the 9th? Late in the game.
All right, guys.
All right. Have a good night. Anyway,
All right, so DJ night Friday. And what I was saying, millennials, you could be home by 11.
You don't need to be, though.
I mean, fireworks night, so maybe 11:30.
Extra innings, you never know.
Yeah, but you could be home early. Like, you're not going to be home that late. So come Friday, you come Saturday,
You can go to the K corner after.
You can go to the K corner after. Yeah, or Ebbs, or the K corner, or you like just come to the ballpark this weekend. It's going to be vibes. Now, final thing we're doing on this episode is an interview with Paulo Costa.
Oh, that's Saturday.
Recorded in this room. That is Saturday. So you could actually go to the game, and then you could go to the fight in Prudential Center.
Shout out NJ Transit taking you over there.
Now, Paulo Costa was an incredible dude. It was really fun to meet him. You're going to see in this interview right here. It was pretty sick, and I'm not going to lie to you all. I did not realize it's kind of scary talking to a fighter.
It is.
Not like we're not crazy. We don't think he's going to beat us up or anything, but you
No.
forget you're sitting with somebody
who for a living.
Like you don't want to make it's the only person I've ever sat with and spoken to where I'm in my head thinking I don't want to upset this person.
No,
Maybe David Wright.
Yeah.
David Wright, I did, but it wasn't like I don't want to upset him. I didn't want to let him down.
I hear you. No, I know what you're saying. He's a machine, Paulo. I'm all about Paulo. I hope he's win.
Yeah.
I hope he wins.
I hope no, he's gonna win.
He's gonna win. He's gonna beat Sean Strickland.
Yeah,
right?
he's gonna beat Sean Strickland. He's
Heck
gonna,
yeah.
this podcast said it.
And Paulo's gonna do it for Brazil.
He's gonna do it for Brazil.
That's right.
And he's gonna do it for Meet at the Apple, his new favorite Mets podcast.
Yo, he had his whole. Have you hit up the captain?
I did.
Can we get 2 tickets?
I didn't ask for tickets. I just
asked for tickets.
I told him that we were putting the podcast.
No, I'll hop on the 7 train. I'll meet you there.
I told him we were putting the podcast
cap.
out, and he just replied, "Awesome." So it didn't really give me. So
That's the follow-up
I'm
point.
going to send him the clip that time.
and then you're gonna ask him.
Maybe.
You think he's gonna watch this and see?
Maybe.
Did we just ask him live on the podcast?
Who knows? If you see us at the thing, we got tickets.
The last time I was at Prudential Center, Janie was there. You were there.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
That was fun.
That was a nice night.
That was fun.
That was when John upset every single Devils fan in the arena.
Par for the course.
All right, here's our interview with Paulo Costa, and we'll see you on the other side to wrap this episode up. Hey, Vito Calisi, Jonathan Barron. We're here with Paulo Costa right now, who just threw out a first pitch. Now, I'm going to say, we said this before, one of the best dressed first pitches we've ever seen,
Thank you.
but rough first pitch.
Yes, I miss it. I miss it. You know, not so far, but yeah, I just miss it, that guy. I have no excuse. I'm not good on that.
It's okay. Hey, that's why you're fighting on Saturday night,
Yes.
June 1st, at Prudential Center in Newark, a title fight. So first of all, thoughts on your opponent, Sean Strickland, as you're getting ready for this fight?
You know, he's a very tough fight. He's a tough opponent, you know, former champ. He beat one of the toughest guys in the UFC, but, you know, I know what I can do. I know exactly what I have been doing on this training camp, you know, my potential, and I'm gonna finish this guy before the fifth round, the finish. So before the end of the 5th round. So I'm pretty confident. You know, I respect. He's a fighter. He's amazing. But let's bring a very good entertainment for everyone.
Have you kept an eye on the things he's been saying on his press tour?
No.
He promised that it was going to be a violent fight.
What's good, you know, because he's motivated. He want to bring excitement, you know, emotion for everyone. I think everybody expect that.
Yeah.
You know, and once I step in there, I'm just bring the vicious violence as well. So I think it will be a maybe the fight of the night. I'm pretty sure of that.
Now, obviously, you guys are competing for a championship here. But I'm wondering, is there a certain kinship and respect that you guys all have amongst each other's fighting in the same organization, UFC? Or is there a true hatred between the guys?
I think we respect each other as a fighter, you know, as how difficult it is to get on this stage, on this level, competing against the, you know, the top 5, top 10 guys in the world, you know, in UFC, you know, is exactly the the organization where everybody want to be, and be a top contender on UFC means a lot. So yes, we respect. I think, at least for my part, I respect him, and I know I cannot go there thinking this is gonna be an easy fight. No, I'm prepared for a war.
So, have you ever done a blind ranking before?
No.
So, a blind ranking is I'm going to give you 5 different Brazilian fighters.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask you to rank them, but you don't know who's coming next. So, like, I'll throw out a name, and you have to think you only have 5 spots to give up.
Okay.
So, I'm going to throw out first name, Wanderlei Silva.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you 4 other names.
Okay.
So you put him 1 through 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh
and then
my
if you
God.
give it, and then if you
Yes.
give up his spot,
I suppose you're gonna say some names that I have in mind, so I will put him on third spot.
okay.
Okay.
Shogun Rua,
Second.
Royce Gracie,
Okay. Fifth.
Anderson Silva.
Number 1.
Has to be.
Who do you think the final spot's going to be?
In Brazilian, maybe. Let me see. Maybe Rodrigo Nogueira or Jose Aldo, maybe.
Jose Aldo is going to be the next one.
Okay, yeah. I think these two would be. Aldo did a lot, but Nogueira is like a legend, a pioneer. So I need to respect too.
How do you feel like your rankings just lined up versus what you would have done if you knew them off the bat?
Very, very fair. Very fair. Royce is an icon.
Yeah.
And yes, I think this is amazing.
So Vito just mentioned some great Brazilian fighters. Did you actually know there are some Brazilian Major League ball players that have played baseball? Did you know that? 2 guys.
I didn't know that.
There you go.
I didn't know what they name.
So one is Jan Gomes. He's a catcher. He played for the Cubs. He played for Cleveland. And then another one is Paulo Orlando. He was on the Royals back.
Paulo.
Paulo
Okay,
Orlando.
okay.
So how big is baseball back home in Brazil?
We need to know more about that. It's becoming be more popular right now, but yes, it's just because I'm not a kind of guy who watch too much other sports. I'm so focused on my own, so I don't have too much time. When I have a time, I prefer watch movies and Netflix, kind of that. But yes, we love baseball, we love basketball,
Soccer,
soccer.
of course.
Yes. I think I never watch in Rio like in local like today, and I want to I wish to watch as soon as possible.
So we want to ask you a little about your career. One thing we like to do is ask people to rank stuff in their own career. So do you have 4 favorite knockouts from your career?
For my career, okay, I want to say one is out of UFC, before UFC, in a show in Brazil named Face to Face. I knock a guy with a single punch, just a straight cross in the chin. And this was in 2015, okay? And then back to UFC against John Hendricks was amazing, because uppercut. Coach was with me, Borracha as well, Coach Eric. Third one against Uriah Hall, I think was a visceral as well. Even the guy showing in the big screen over there when I throw my first pitch. And fourth, let me see, my debut in UFC against Megill was a great performance as well. And fifth one, okay, the
one that's coming up. The one that's coming up.
I like that. I will save this spot for Saturday. Knockout that would be the fifth. So the top one. I wish, please God, help me on that.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. You're gonna bring the electricity to New Jersey. Have you been to New Jersey before?
Yes, I have been here. It's a nice city. I love this energy. Manhattan and New Jersey is great.
Now, how much of the secret juice have you brought with you? So let's get into the secret juice.
I need to avoid the secret juice for today because I'm cutting weight.
Okay.
So it's going low, my weights. But yeah, secret juice is always with me because make stronger jacket.
And you can't tell us what's in the secret juice, right? I guess it wouldn't be a secret if you told us.
Yeah, unfortunately I can. Unfortunately, this is top secret until we release this for everyone.
At what point in time do you actually release it?
I think this year. I think until the end of this year, you're gonna be available to buy.
Okay, so like I could maybe go to like a Walmart and buy it on.
Yes. We are working hard on this, Tamar, me, all the team, to make that.
All right. I mean, I know a lot of people. When we told people that we were talking to you today, first thing everyone said was, "Yo, give me some of that secret juice, man."
Yes.
And I was
it's
like,
so
"Hey, I'm
popular,
gonna ask."
He's become bigger than me. You know.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't know about that.
So when you come to New York in the New Jersey, New York area, is there any Brazilian spots you'd recommend people to go to?
Oh, Brazilian spots. I prefer actually, get this experience from what you guys like to go.
Oh, do you know what you're going to eat today? Have you thought about the ballpark, what you're going to eat here?
No.
What
Oh,
do you
dude,
like?
there's so many options.
Throw some stuff.
Oh,
What do you
yeah.
like?
After fight. Let's
After
wait.
the fight.
After the fight. That's a good point.
cutting
Yeah.
weight.
I'm never
Because
thinking
Can't even
about
drink
that.
water. Forget a couple of hot dogs.
Yeah, but I love New York.
Do you like a churrascaria, or is that not actually Brazilian?
Yes, I like, of course.
Because I
like.
crush that stuff.
Yes.
One time I went and the guy took the token off my table, and I had to be like, "Buddy, bring that right back here."
Go home and stop to eat.
What about a Fogo de Chao?
Fogo Chão is amazing.
I like Texas de Brazil the best.
Texas base is
Better than Fogo de Chao?
Have you been to Plataforma?
Platform is amazing as well. This tree is
We
great.
had him rank the wrong things. We
there's
should have
one-
had him rank the Brazilian steakhouse.
There's a place a few blocks away from here called Rainhaus. That's like a local place.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So next time you come through a game, we could come and then we could just go over there.
I will, for sure. Thank you for.
Now, in your career, you've only had 3 losses.
Yes.
Of those 3 guys, who would you most like to get another shot at?
For sure, Desanya. Easy.
Oh, Israel?
Yeah, for sure. I need to fight him again. Doesn't matter when. I just want to fight him again and give him good and bad revenge.
Well, I'm sure Dana's going to listen to this. So, Dana, you heard it here first. Make it happen. Now, of all the guys you fought in your career to this point, who's the biggest shit talker of all them in the octagon?
I don't think I have a fight until now. I think Shane Strickler is the big the big talker, but
That's before the fight, though. We'll see how tough he is once we get in the octagon.
But for some reason he's still quiet, he's still very, very, very como é que fala o Eric? Comportado. How you say that? Yeah, he's behaving very well, like a gentleman. I'm just aware. But yes, I think he ought to be, but we respect each other, maybe that's why. And yes, we not have bad blood, I think, but in the fight, the things need to be very personal.
And that's this Saturday, Prudential Center. You're taking on Sean Strickland. I think we're 100% in your corner.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This is
Thank
Meet
you
at the
very
Apple.
much.
Meet at the
I
Apple is now your
appreciate.
show. We're on your team.
And I assure you guys, next time I will hit the guy with the first pick.
That's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
Real
okay.
quick, one more thing. What's your message to all the fans that are going to be in the building and watching on pay-per-view, not just in America, but across the world
Yes.
for Saturday night's big fight?
I just assure for you guys gonna like this fight. You guys gonna enjoy, have a lot of fun watching this fight, and it will worth. So stay tuned. Saturday, Paulo Costa will fight for you.
And you can subscribe to Minute the Apple on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. We're available on the Mets YouTube page. And, throw us a subscription. We'd appreciate it. We need the numbers.
Of course.
Thanks a lot, man.
Let's subscribe here, guys, and let's give a power for these guys.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
All right, so here's the thing. When I said to Paulo, have you heard what Sean Strickland's been saying on the press tour? And he said, no, I got really squeamish and embarrassed because I didn't want to say what Sean Strickland actually said was, nobody from Brazil likes Paulo Costa, and I'm going to win this fight for Brazil, which is why John said that before. But I actually just kind of was like, he said that it's going to be a violent fight, which he did say. But that's a little behind the music for the listeners.
Well,
at
Paulo
home.
had 20 people packed in this room watching, so it probably wouldn't have been a good thing to say that. So good job.
Yeah,
Having a filter and whatnot.
And also, it's not like, as I did that, I was like, I'm not trying to get in any, I'm not trying to be rude. I genuinely wanted to know if he heard it.
Oh, I think it would have been awesome if we got in the middle of a big UFC.
Well, I want to be in
Thing.
this corner.
No, I know that, but I think it would have been cool if,
I want to be the spit bucket
what
guy.
if Dana White was like, I got to go on these guys now with these guys?
What if we were the spit bucket guys?
They have spit buckets?
I don't know.
I know Herb Dean, the referee. Herb Dean's my guy, UFC
Do you
referee.
think it's weird that Michael Buffer and Bruce Buffer are two brothers that just got into the same job in different leagues?
I don't, dude. I got
And
really
they
into
each have their own catchphrase.
I got really into UFC during COVID.
Oh,
It was the only thing going when they did Fight Island. Yeah.
Fight Island was sick.
It was really cool. And it was the only thing that, other than like waking up at 7 a.m. for Bundesliga soccer in July.
My favorite UFC fighter of all time is a Jersey guy,
Who?
Frankie Edgar.
Oh, I know. Who's
He
the
threw out a first pitch one time.
Chris Weidman, Long Island guy?
And then Matt Frivola, you got to give him a shout out. Matt's fan comes out to the trumpets.
Of course.
But let's wrap this one up because people got places to go. Thank you all for listening. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast.
Tell your friends.
But thank you all for listening. It's been a really fun one, and just keep your heads up, Mets fans. That's it.
Yeah, and say nice things on the internet to your friends and us and everyone else. Check out the Mike Francesa episode, by the way. A lot of people have been enjoying it.
Somebody did came up to me and said, I'd never heard of you guys before the Mike Francesa episode.
They could have lied and said, I've heard of you guys and you did a good job.
I almost like that more, that he was like, I never heard of you guys. I listened to the Mike Francesa, and I was like, I'm going to listen to this show.
And if there's a guest that you guys want us to have on next,
Comment.
We can't promise, but we could try.
Comment right here. That's what the YouTubers do.
All right. Be nice.
See you guys.